Hi guys, welcome back to Check Fire Life episode 2. This episode right here, this show is supported completely by patrons and is recorded live on Patreon. So if you're a patron, make sure you check out the notification feed and make sure you know so you could come here, share some of your opinions. We definitely appreciate that. And if you're not a patron, definitely consider becoming a patron because you guys know YouTube sucks and it's taking all the revenue away from creators. So definitely consider becoming a patron. Now, if you're watching in the replay, make sure you like, subscribe, stay subscribed. You know, we got a lot of videos coming up, and definitely share the videos and things like that. We definitely appreciate it. I'm planning to do 2 of those videos a month, and it's something that I'm going to be doing every month. Like I say, I'm recording this on Patreon, and the title of this video is going to be "The Way You Look Will Help You Survive an Attack." Now, just like I say in the past, I'm not just about guns. I'm not just about, weapons and things like that. I like to talk about survival because I think it's important, and I think it's a conversation that not a lot of people are having. Now, if you see the video that I did before this one, I talked about who are we fighting. And essentially, I broke down a couple of situations, a couple of, situations that you could face or potential threats to your life. You know, a lot of times we think we're just fighting a criminal. We're fighting an active shooter, a home defense. And sometimes things like, hey, being overweight could definitely put an impact in your survival plan and even your life. You know, I just did a live stream just recently where I say I lost 28 pounds. And check it out, guys. I'm down 30 pounds. I've been doing the keto diet and it's working fantastic. And again, 30 pounds to me is a lot. And the reason why is because I identified that as a threat. I identified that as something that is pretty much messing up my survival or chances, right? So here's the deal. The way you look will help you survive an attack. And this is what I mean. You know, some of you guys know this, and Big Mo is in the house. Big shout out to you, sir. Good to see you here. But some of you guys know this for a fact. Criminals like to attack people that they consider weak. And a lot of things, a lot of times, some of the things that we do may really be something that is affecting our survival plan, right? We don't do it because we want to, or we don't do it because we want to do that, but it really is affecting our survival plan. So we got to keep that in mind because, again, criminal likes to attack weak, what they consider weak persons, right? Weak people. You may not consider yourself weak, but criminals may consider you weak based on the fact that something is on, something about you, right? Remember the knockout games, guys? If you remember that, put comments down below. The knockout games, if you're not being around this for a while, I want to say it was about 3 years ago. And in fact, if you go back to my library of 1,300 videos, you will probably see videos me talking about that. Because I think I called that video knocked out, Glock out, something like that. It was kind of funny. But again, the knocked out game was a game that these punks, criminals, teenagers were attacking older people, and pretty much they were sucker punching them. So they would come close to you, bam, and hit you in the face and kind of run away. I want to say one guy died or something like that. A couple of people were in really bad shape. In fact, I was just reading some information here online, and some of those guys got cut. Some of those guys went to jail. And what happened after that is that a lot of guys were actually carrying guns, and it was fantastic. A lot of the older people was like, "Screw this! I'm gonna carry a gun, and it is what it is. I'm gonna defend myself," which is something that we talked about here, right? So again, the reason that I brought this situation to you guys is because in this situation, they were identifying older people as weak, and they were attacking these people, right? So again, sometimes as you get older, that may happen. A criminal may want to attack you based in your age, because you may be older, you may not be able to defend yourself, and again, they may attack you based on that. What about being a female? A criminal may attack you based on the fact that you're a female, and he may consider you weak. And some of you girls may take offense to that. It is what it is. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying what criminals may be thinking. A criminal may look at you and say, well, she's a weaker person and I'm going to attack her based on the fact that she's a weaker person, right? So how do we fix that? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, right? I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about being a hard target and a soft target. So this is kind of like a military term, right? Soft target and a hard target. And I got to tell you guys, being in the Marines for so long and going on deployments after deployments, you guys know 2 tours in Iraq, 12 months in Afghanistan, being on the ship for 7 months with the 27 MEU, 22nd MEU, 6 months, I think it was on ship. This is something that was constantly drilled in our head, be a hard target, be a hard target, be a hard target. And the reason why is because a lot of times the enemy is going to watch us. So the enemy is just not going to attack us. He's just going to watch us first, and there has been some situations on, some terrorist attack threats where terrorists have come to Marine Corps bases and they legitimately have walked away and said, nah, not this place. We're going to find a different place. And the reason why is because the Marines were looking like a hard target. And that's something great about Marines. I love that. But again, I wanted to talk about hard target and soft target. So I always look at my military career and I always look like, hey, you know what? How can I translate that into my civilian life? And what I get is that a lot of times I get people that complain in the comments. I get people that tell me, hey, you know what? This is not combat. I totally get that, man. Obviously, this is not combat. I know that because I'm in my house. I got ice cream in my fridge, even though I'm not eating ice cream. But, I got a couch. My wife and my kids are here. So, again, I realize this is not combat. I mean, I'm sitting here messing around with 2 computers and talking to you guys. So, I totally get that. If this would be combat, it would be totally different, right? So, but I really, really, really think that you could get some of the thoughts, some of the things that we learn in the military and translate that into your civilian security. I really think you could do that. So again, I'm going to tell you something. Self-target. The first thing I'm going to tell you about a self-target is that a lot of times self-targets have a false sense of security. And what I'm going to identify as a self-target in some cases may be even a person that is carrying a gun. And some of you guys are going to say, whoa, I got a gun, I'm good. I got a gun, I'm good to go. I see that here in the community a lot. And quite frankly, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not that way. And again, like I said, just because you have a gun, it does not mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything because there's more to the gun than actually, more to the survival plan than actually having a gun. So a lot of times just saying I have a gun is a false sense of security. A lot of times, depending on the police officers, is a false sense of security. Depending on the country, is a false sense of security. We got my boy Matthew is in the house. Bruh, Semper Fi, brother. We're talking about false sense of security, and we're talking about soft targets and hard targets, and talking about how criminals like to, attack self targets. Matthews was in combat. He would tell you the importance of looking as a hard target. So again, a lot of times, false sense of security could be your worst enemy because you think because I have a gun, I'm good. I got that Glock 19, so I'm good to go. That's it. There's more to the game than just having a gun. In fact, I will argue the point that if you fail to train and you fail to become proficiency in that firearm, most likely you're probably going to shoot yourself, and that gun may not be a good idea. What that gun is actually going to do is that you're going to put your family life in your hands because you've been neglecting with that gun. I cannot tell you how many people think that having a gun is so cool, and they hang around with the cool and this and that. And I get it, a gun is cool to me too, but we have to have, we really have to be really careful with our firearms. Just me and my wife were talking about firearm safety, and actually me and Matthews, we were talking about firearm safety, and we were talking about our children actually going shooting just a couple of days ago. And so again, having that gun is not just I have a gun, it could potentially give you a false sense of security because you think you're good to go, but you're not. Most likely, you could potentially shoot yourself, right? So again, people that say, you know what, I'm not going to train, I'm just going to buy a gun and just put it there. To me, again, that's a soft target. You're becoming a soft target. You're not improving yourself. You got to constantly improve yourself to become a hard target. You don't just become a hard target by saying, you know what, I got a gun and that's it. I kind of consider myself a hard target, because the way I think. But I mean, it took years and years and years to get to that point. Matthew just put a comment saying complacency kills. And I remember maybe 2004, there was signs in Iraq, or at least when I was there in 2004, and I was there in 2003 too. But in 2004, I remember seeing those signs, man, and you probably saw them too all over. Complacency kills, because people get something and that's it. And you can't be like that. That will potentially make you a soft target, because again, you're not improving yourself. I got to tell you. One thing that I noticed just recently, I'm going to share this with you guys, that could potentially make you a soft target too, is your appearance. And again, this is not about you being fat, me being skinny, you being strong. I'm the dude with the tattoos, Even though I got tattoos, I just, don't show it here. Maybe when I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll become more operator and I show my tattoos. But nah, probably now. I can't even believe I got some of those tattoos. The things that you do when you're a young kid. But anyways, different conversation. Your appearance. I just recently saw a guy. Actually, I've seen him multiple times. And essentially, he works for a money truck, collects money. And I got to tell you guys, the way this guy look, he's like opening the door to a possible criminal attacking him. Really does. I mean, first of all, he's carrying a SDVE 9 or 40. Who knows? One of those SDVE. I know some of the fanboys are going to get mad. I reviewed that gun. I did videos on that gun. I say it was a pretty decent gun. I never had an issue with it. But the way he carried this gun is with a holster. And the holster is like a really cheapo holster that really, I mean, you could probably buy the thing for like $5, and put it on. That's it. And again, essentially, his gear is not going to really allow him to draw your weapon and engage the bad guy. Really, if a bad guy looks at him, if potentially somebody looks at him with a firearm and that person is better equipped, that person could be like, yeah, I could take this dude. I mean, look at the holster that he got. The thing is like hanging from the side. Look at that pistol that he has. Look at his demeanor. Look at the way he walked. Look at the way he conducts himself. Again, he's acting like a soft target. I got to tell you something. And I learned this pretty quick on patrols. We used to get hammered in the Marines. They would be like, hey, pick up your rifle. Don't be walking around holding your rifle by the pistol grip like you just like whatever, Hold your rifle. Put it up there. You put it here in your chest. You're holding your rifle. You're scanning your area. You're looking right. You're looking left. You're taking a few steps. You cover your six. I mean, it was constantly in your head because you want to look to like a hard target. And I tell you what, I remember this. Someone told me this. I can't remember who, but it was apparently was the enemy was looking at a Marine patrol, and it was caught. And I guess the guy says something like, "Hey, you know what? There's a Marine patrol coming in. Do you want us to attack?" And the guy's boss, the criminal, the terrorist, Taliban dude, whoever his boss was like, "Hey, if you want to die, do that." Because again, the Marines look so hard that it deters crime from happening. So again, you know what? Having the right gear, carrying the right gun, conducting yourself the right way, having situational awareness, versus just messing around with the phone. Excuse me, just like, not paying attention to your surrounding. All those things actually puts you in a category of being a soft target. It really does, because a criminal is looking at you and is identifying you as a bad guy. You got to think, before the criminal attacks you, he's going to check you out. He's going to go like this. He's going to look at you and be like, all right, can I take this guy? You guys probably remember high school, right? Some of you guys got into a fight in high school. Anybody got into a fight in high school? You wouldn't fight the bigger guy than you. You know the guy's gonna knock you out. That's essentially what it is, guys. It is that simple. It is that simple, and it's a strong component of your survival because, again, like I said, a lot of times we are so minded or so concentrated in our own things that we totally miss the point and we become a soft target, right? Make sure you check out the video that I did before this one, because in that one I talked about who we're fighting, and I thought I brought up some good points. But here's the deal: a hard target is contrary to that. A hard target is contrary to that. You know, a hard target carries the right equipment. The hard target trains. A hard target is always conducting himself in a manner that you could say, you know what? Don't mess with that guy. That's what you look for, guys. I mean, it's that simple. I don't want to mess with that guy because that guy looks like he could do something. You know what I'm saying? So again, a hard target does that. A hard target constantly trained to become a better weapon. A hard target is not just about, you know what, I got a Glock 19. A hard target is about, I have a Glock 19 and I can shoot. I could connect. You know, a soft target is like here in the YouTube drama community where, you know what, a 40 is better than a 9mm. No, that's just guys talking crap and whatever. You know, a hard target says, you know what, whatever caliber I have, I can connect. You know, think about a sniper, guy. A sniper is not a rifle. The sniper is the dude, the Marine. He's the sniper. You know, he could do anything with it. You know, obviously some rifles are better than others, but he is the weapon. So again, a hard target is somebody that is constantly making sure that, you know, everything around him is good to go. You know, he doesn't put himself in a bad situation, you know. And again, you know, I have put myself in bad situations that have made me a weak target in a way, a soft target, right? So again, a hard target is somebody that is constantly making sure that he's good to go. And again, you don't have to become, guys, you don't have to become crazy about this. It's not about being crazy. It's not about being paranoid about this. It's just about making the right decisions. You know, again, a while ago I did a video where I talked about, you know, I made the wrong turn and I end up in a kind of bad neighborhood. You know, I got to tell you guys that to me was a bad decision that I made. That could potentially make me a self target because, yeah, you know, I got a gun, but there's people there with guns too. And when the firefight starts, you know, if there's a few guys, obviously they have more firepower and they could win. So again, you know, you have to be careful about those things, and you really have to identify ways that it's going to make you strong as a weapon. Again, it's going to make you strong. How can I improve myself? You know, again, it's not about 10 pistols in the safe. It's not about that, guys. It's about you being the best weapon that you can be. You being a strong target. That's what it's all about. That's how you're going to protect your family. That's how you are going to protect your family. Again, you know, we're missing the point. We're totally missing the point in YouTube. YouTube is all about cool pistols and cool sights. And I totally get that. You know, I love pistols. I love all that stuff. Just like you know. I love, you know, I just pulled down in money in the new MMP. Well, not a new MMP, but I put down money on the MMP 9 core. You know, threaded barrel with a slide cut. I primarily got that gun so I could do reviews here for you guys on you know, red points and things like that. But again, it's not about that. A hard target is somebody that is constantly improving his self-defense plan. That's how it is. I'll give you another example just real quick, and I'm going to look at some of the comments that Matthew's putting here. But hurricane, we get hurricanes here all the time. The last couple of years is hurricane. I've been prepping for hurricanes. I got a new generator in my garage. New generator. I want to make my house a hard target. Some of you guys watching pictures back in the days when I did those videos, I have things, the windows cover, I had the generator, fuel. What that makes me a hard target. I have security. If something bad happened, I'm able to stay in my house for a while, and I'm able to defend my house because I'm being a hard target. I didn't want to be a soft target. If I wouldn't have supplies, I'm a soft target. So again, you got to keep that in mind. So let me look out. Big Mo is in the house, and Matthews, patrons of the channel. We definitely appreciate you guys' support, man. This month is actually the worst month that we have had in YouTube since, I don't know, maybe a year. Like, it's really bad, man. Our income is so low. It's crazy, dude. But here's Matthew had some very good comments here. Say, I actually told my wife the other day, as we had to load a bunch of snow gear in the car, that there is more to survival than carrying a gun. You know what, man? That's a good point, because if you remember, uh, not recently, a couple of years ago, there was a big situation in Georgia where the snow was so bad and they weren't able to deal with that. You know, the state, I guess, apparently in that part of that part of Georgia wasn't able to deal with that, and a lot of cars got stuck up in I-95, and I don't remember if people died or not, but it was a really bad situation. Many cars were stuck in I-95, and it was really bad. So again, you know, something that you got to keep in mind. You know, if you live in the winter, I know Hunt for Food have told me this. We talked about his weather. If you live in a place where the weather's really crazy, preparation, you know, again, soft target. You know, you don't have anything in the car, it's making you a soft target. Your car breaks down, is minus, I don't know, 10 degrees out there. What is that gun is going to do for you? Nothing. That gun is not going to do nothing for you. You are in 10-degree weather. I mean, you screw pretty much. You know, it is what it is, but that's how it is. All right, so another comment here from Matthew says, my son point out a real soup sandwich getting covered a few weeks ago. All right, he said that his son pointed this out. One of the guys in the armored cars, he had a vest that was so loose that anyone, even a kid, could have grabbed his pistol off. Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. So this guy's hanging around with his vest so loose that somebody could take his pistol. Again, you know, the best way for that is retention. You know, I forgot to put the comments right here, but here's some of the comments, some of the guys talking here. But here's the deal, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to be continue to do this. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely put comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let's think about our security as more as having a gun. And let's think about our security a little bit. Let's go outside the box and think about being a hard target. I think that's just a great way to think about it, you know? So I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And as always, God is in control.